Welcome back to Central New York's Open House. When you're planning a remodeling project and you're going to replace your windows, the perfect place to start that planning process is right here at the New York Sash showroom, where all the colors, styles, and options are on display and you can see exactly what it'll look like installed in your home. So the first step is to stop down to the showroom, visit with one of our professionals where we can get an idea of where you stand in the planning process and kind of what your thoughts are on what you want to have replaced in your home. Then we'll stop out to your house, take some necessary measurements, and once the final decision is made, we'll place your order and that order gets transmitted up to our plant in Maine. Now recently, I had an opportunity to visit the plant in Maine, and we followed the manufacturing of a New York Sash brand window from start to finish. Now, one of the most important components of your window is glass, and this is my favorite part. I love to take a look at the manufacturing process. I'm here with my good friend Andy. Andy?
Hey Scott, how are you, man?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Tell us about our windows and tell us about this first process, the glass.
This part of the process is very important. This is where we make the IGs, or insulating glass units, that are going to go into your windows. What we do here is we take two pieces of high performance soft coat low weed glass and we put a third pane in the middle so that we have two air chambers that will keep the cold out and the warm in your homes in upstate New York.
So this is where the process starts.
Absolutely.
The glass and cutting the glass.
Absolutely.
Tell me about the equipment and everything that goes into this.
Well, what we're
part.
standing in front of is a glass optimizer. And what the glass optimizer does is it utilizes a 72 by 84 inch sheet of glass so that we have the least amount of waste possible. So when you place an order with us, what we do is we take your order and it gets exploded out into different patterns. The patterns are then laid out onto the glass that we drop on these tables. The machine right behind me is a gantry that actually has the glass cutter on it. And that's going to cut the glass down to the window size that you placed on order.
And then the operator, he goes through and he's got to break apart all the glass, right?
Right.
And
Well,
how do they keep track of that?
Well, there's a program that we have in the computer that takes this exploded view of your windows and it reorganizes it. At the end of this line, there's a rack that has a series of numbers on it, and on his computer monitor, he has a designated number that he puts that piece of glass into, so we get the window back into the order that you placed.
Okay, so the glass is cut, it's put on racks, then it goes to what steps next?
So the next step in the process after we finish cutting the glass is to prep it to be made into insulated units. The first thing we do in that process is we take the low weed, that high performance glass we were cutting before, and we have to remove that coating from the surface of the glass so that when we put the adhesives on it to make the glass stick together, it's sticking to the glass and not to the coating. The reason that we do that is to support that warranty that you hold so dear. This makes sure that the glass is going to last a lifetime.
So from this step here, this is for the spacer system to go on it.
That's right.
And then they take it and it goes into this piece of equipment. What happens over here?
What you see over here on the left here is a glass washer. And what that does is it washes the glass twice, it rinses it once, and then the fourth step in it is to make it dry. Because it's very, very important that the glass is dry for the sealants that we're going to be putting on it.
I noticed that he put a piece in between without scoring the edges.
In between, in the windows that we make for New York Sash, it's triple glazed. There's two pieces of low E on the inside and outside, and in the middle is a piece of clear glass that has no coating on it at all.
Okay, so the process for triple glazed is a little bit more intensive than double glazed.
Oh, absolutely. Because in a double glazed unit, you only have one piece of low E and one piece of clear. The reason that your windows are so efficient is that you have two pieces of high performance low E glass and one piece of clear. From here, the next step in the process is to apply the spacer system. Now, we use a specially formulated spacer system that eliminates any kind of metal from the spacer, which makes it more thermally efficient. What they do, it's a ribbon spacer that goes completely around the edge of the glass. And what that does is it minimizes the number of spaces in the sealant itself that can become seal cloggers.
Now, the old-fashioned way was to actually use metal in there, right?
They used to use metal. And actually, some manufacturers still do use metal. Now what's unique about this system is it uses a polycarbonate instead of metal, and that's where you get your high thermal efficiency from.
It's got to be much more efficient than metal. I mean,
absolutely, because you know how much of a conductor metal is, and a polycarbonate there's absolutely no conductivity to it. What's also happening at this operation is that if you elect to have grills that make the colonial look of your windows, this is where the grills are put in between the glass. And the reason that most homeowners like that is that they have the look of segmented lights, but when they clean the window, it's all one pane of glass.
Coming up on Central New York's Open House.
This is another thing that the New York Sash window does that other manufacturers may or may not do.